Hey there, welcome back to the channel. My name's Helena and I make videos on spirituality, astrology, and living with your intuition and the different tools and modalities that I've used and things that I just wish to share that have really helped me in my own life. I am an astrocartographer, so I give client readings in astrocartography specifically, and I also specialize in zodiacal releasing, which is timing the chapters of a person's life. Today we're going to be talking about Chiron and what it feels like to go to a Chiron line when traveling or just living on a Chiron line. I have some experiences with Chiron. I actually am going to share my experiences and how it's brought up and activated things for me where Chiron is natally in my chart, and just give you some guidance, grounded guidance on what you may experience when traveling to a Chiron line in astrocartography. Before we get started with today's video, if you would like to book a private one-on-one reading with me in astrocartography, I'll include a link down below in the description box with all my information. It's been so great connecting with so many of you guys. I also have done lots of podcasts on astrocartography, and I have some blog posts written on my website giving you more information, but feel free to check out those links down below if you'd like to get more information. I also recently joined Hey Hero, which is a place where you can ask a simple question, asking about a certain place that you live currently or a place that you want to relocate to. If you don't want a full in-depth reading for an hour, you can ask me a question and I will send you a personalized video message letting you know what the energies, supportive or challenging, that you might feel when traveling or living in a certain place. So if you'd like to ask me a question about a particular place in the world for you, check out the Hey Hero link down below and I would love to connect with you. Let's get into Chiron. Chiron is the wounded healer. It's the part of us that has wounds and things in our life that need healing. It's a very soft and tender energy. It's more introverted. It's a little bit more inward, a little bit more self-reflected. Wherever we have Chiron in our natal chart, which area of life we have it, that area of life is going to be particularly triggering. Wounds may come up that need healing, and this is a lifelong thing. We're going to repeatedly go through challenges and experiences that are going to activate those wounds that need healing, because I really believe that in this life we're meant to heal in order to move up into our self-worth, to be a fully empowered soul. And in order to do that healing work, we have to look at our Chiron. If you travel to a Chiron line, you might find that you're a little bit more inward, a little bit more introverted, a little bit more shy, a little bit more tender. You might find a little bit softer in your life when traveling or living on a Chiron line. I really encourage you to check out your natal chart and just see where you have Chiron natally in your chart. What house is it located in for you? That's going to give you the area of life that you're particularly wounded and triggered in. And then also the sign that it's in. And if there's any aspects conjunct it, or any hard aspects or challenging aspects that it's making to other planets, that's going to be really important. So now let's get into the energy of Chiron and what you may experience when traveling or living on a Chiron line. Old wounds will resurface here. This is a great place to heal yourself. Meditation, retreats, journaling, inward self-reflection, neural reprogramming, coming face to face with your shadow, the dark parts of you that you want to keep hidden and you don't really want to face. This is the place to do that. It really, really is. I'll never forget the time every time I've gone to a Chiron line, this has been activated for me. I have a Chiron line in Portugal, and then it goes up through England. And every time I go to England or Portugal, anywhere close, specifically like directly on that Chiron line, old wounds resurface, fears resurface. And specifically for me, I have my natal Chiron in the 11th house. So friendships, groups of people, following, social media followings, online groups of people, that's the area of life that I'm most wounded in. It's the part that I'm most hurt in, and it's the part of me that's very tender and kind of wants to back away and shy away from, despite being a YouTuber. Like, despite being very public and open with my life online. in order to heal this for me, I need to access this area of my life. I need to look at it straight in the face and get to the root of the fear and heal it through subconscious reprogramming, which I've talked about in past videos, but it's been huge for me. I've healed so much of my shadow through doing neurological reprogramming through meditation with To Be Magnetic. And I'll include a link down below if you're interested in, but that's been the core lesson that I've been healing in my shadow self, is that Chiron area of life, of friendship, and specifically groups of people. I remember the first time I went to that Chiron line, I traveled by myself, I was on a solo trip, and I just remember that whole time I was in silence. I was in a lot of silence. I was not really listening to anything, not listening to podcasts, not listening to YouTube, you know, nothing. I read a little bit of a book, but like not much. And I just remember how triggered I was by my own thoughts, by old childhood memories that came out of nowhere. Like old childhood wounds from when I was 7, when I was 8, when I was 12, when I was 14. All these memories just came kind of like flooding back, and I hadn't thought about them in years. Like I had just moved on with my life, you know? And when anytime I travel to a Chiron line, it activates any old fear that has to do with friendships, groups of people, and also hopes and dreams in the internet. These fears resurface, and it asks me to go back and to heal those parts of myself. So anyone who wants to travel to a Chiron line, I highly recommend going on a solo trip. I highly recommend taking a meditation retreat, a silent retreat, any kind of trip where it's more inward, more self-reflective, more spiritual in nature. This is gonna be really helpful for you. I don't like to live on a Chiron line. I mean, Chiron is great for healing and like spirituality, but Chiron isn't fun for me. Like I would rather recommend people live on a Venus line or a Jupiter line or a Sun line, or even a Moon line is lovely. Chiron lines are just a little bit tender. They're not hard lines like Mars lines or Saturn lines or Pluto lines. Like Pluto lines are really hard. Chiron line, it doesn't really fit in that category. It's just a little bit triggering. It's a little bit more wounded. The good thing about Chiron though, and I really want to say this is really important. The wounded healer. Chiron's the wounded healer. The parts of us that are wounded, when we really heal them, when we fix them, when we embody and acknowledge and accept them and honor those fears and move through those fears and emotions, we become teachers. We can then be of service for other people. It's kind of like the person who experienced a lot of hardships in life. They come out of it stronger, and they come out of it with stories to tell. They want to share what they've learned with other people. They want to tell, you know, the experiences, share how they moved through it. Give advice, give guidance to people who are going through similar things that they went through. That's the healing part of Chiron. And it's quite profound and it's beautiful. But in order to access that more healer and teacher aspect of ourselves, we first need to really honor and accept and heal those parts of us that need healing. And this is going to be especially important if you go to a Chiron line. I wouldn't recommend going to a Chiron line if it's aspecting Pluto in a hard aspect, like a square, or, you know, a square. Pluto square Chiron will be really difficult. But I encourage you to look at the aspects and also look at any other planetary lines that are maybe intersecting or really close to that Chiron line. That's going to give you some more information. You know, if it's Jupiter, that's going to be really helpful. It might expand and give some growth to that Chiron. If you have a planetary line that's really close to Chiron, you know, like Venus or the Sun or even Jupiter, it's going to give you some more levity. It's going to help and expand and bring a little bit more joy to that Chiron line. If you've got a hard aspect like Pluto squaring Chiron or something like a hard aspect there, it might be a little bit more challenging. Mars too, Saturn too. If you got Saturn with Chiron, that's going to be a drag. That's going to bring delays and blockages, and may not bring you the ease in healing the things that you need healing in. So I really encourage you to pull up your astrocartography map, check to see where you have Chiron. Is it on the IC, home and family, your private life? Is it on the MC, which is your career, public reputation? Is it descendant? Is it relationships with other people? Or is it the ascendant, your identity, your character, and your physical appearance? Really getting the full picture. And then also looking at your natal chart, you know, where do you have Chiron in the houses? What area of life is that wound really in for you? Is it making any aspects to other planets? Is it conjunct any planets in that house? You know, is it on top of any, are there any planets close by that are within 3 degrees of that Chiron? That's going to give you some more information. And so if you would like to book a reading with me, I'd be happy to work with you and give you some more information on that. I'll include a link down below in the description if you'd like to book a reading with me. I can look at the full picture of your chart, what's going on with Chiron there, and then also your astrocartography map and tell you, you know, what Chiron lines are going to be helpful for going on that spiritual silent meditation retreat, places that are going to be great for your healing, places that are going to be a little bit more challenging. I can pull that up for you and give you some guidance. Yeah, Chiron lines, they're interesting. I'm really trying to embrace Chiron in my life now. I'm reading a lot more books on Chiron and just trying to understand the nature of Chiron, but this is just a brief overview of what you can expect when traveling to a Chiron line. The energy you might feel very tender, very soft, very inward. You might not feel very chatty and social and extroverted on a Chiron line unless you have, you know, the sun or Jupiter very close by, making positive aspects to it. But, you know, Chiron's a little bit more tender. So this is great for healing. This is great for leaning into your fears, leaning into your triggers, and healing your shadow self. So gosh, Chiron is just so underrated. Let's boost up and prop Chiron a little higher because dang, like powerful. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I just wanted to give you this little Chiron video. I've been to a Chiron line many times, so I feel very confident in saying this is what I experienced. I've experienced this many times, and it's the correlations, right? Like every time I travel to a Chiron line, triggers, the same triggers come up, or similar triggers come up, or fears come up, or I don't want to talk as much. I'm a little bit more antisocial, you know, I want to be more inward, I want to be more private. This happens every time I go to a Chiron line, so it's wild. I'd be really curious to hear where it is for you guys in your chart. Let me know down below in the comments where you have Chiron natally, what area of life, what house. And have you ever been to a Chiron line? Like, what did you think of it? Did you experience that more soft, tender, inward energy? Like, did you also have any like wounded parts of you from your past come up that need healing? I'd love to hear from you. If you'd like to subscribe and follow along for more videos from me about different spiritual modalities that I'm using and like just different spiritual tools that I love, be sure to click that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that you'll be updated when I post a new video. So yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you have a magical day, and I will see you guys next time here on the channel.